All right, before these two lovely gentlemen leave us, and I'm talking about those two at the bottom of our screen, Mac and John Champion, let's just talk, and I'll go to Mac first, and then Mac, you bring it to John, about Liverpool's result against Wolves. It was 2-0, a few controversial decisions, at least from the myriad of social media and beyond. There's a beautiful explainer on ESPN FC about what happened, but it was 2-0 against Julen Lopetegui's Wolves. What do you make of the game, specifically some of the decisions that went against or for Liverpool in that game? What do you make of it?
Well, the first decision was correct, wasn't it? The Mo Salah goal. I mean, I think it's a silly rule. Don't get me wrong. I think it should have been disallowed, but it was to the letter of the law. It was given because Totti made an attempt at the headed clearance. But of course, if Totti just leaves the ball and puts his hands up in the air and says it's offside, Mo Salah was officially offside. So I think that law is ridiculous. But it was true, and Liverpool got away with it. It was a lovely finish by Mo Salah. The second goal, the Mateus Nunes was offside in a VAR camera. I haven't seen an angle, to be very honest. By all accounts, he was onside, but the fact that there was no definitive camera angle, they couldn't then go against the linesman on the far side and disagree. But I think Liverpool were fortunate by all accounts. That's what I've been hearing. So Julen Lopetegui, I think, has got a right to be challenging the referees after the end of the game. I don't think it's anything against Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool didn't do anything to force the issue. I just think the first rule is silly and will be changed. And the second rule, I just think, was very unfortunate because of the camera angles. And that will probably be changed in the future when technology catches up. Liverpool, as a performance, they're just not playing well, are they? They're very open. They seem very lethargic. They're letting the opposition have numerous attempts every single time that they're counter-attacked upon. Against Aston Villa, when they come back from the World Cup, I thought they were fortunate. Leicester, they were very fortunate. Brentford, they got their comeuppance and they deservedly were beaten. And last night, I thought they were fortunate. So Liverpool have got a lot of head-scratching and thinking to do as well, John, haven't they? You know, and they can't blame injuries. They can in forward areas. But the issue is not the forward areas. It's the midfield area and defence at the moment.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I just wonder, and it's very easy and very straightforward for me to be glib about this and say, right, Jurgen Klopp, 7 years at Mainz, his time was up. 7 years at Dortmund, things on the wane, time was up. 7 years at Liverpool. Are we just seeing an almost inevitable consequence of a 7-year cycle and maybe the changes on the sporting director level as well in terms of recruitment not having been quite as sharp as perhaps it has been in the past? I don't know. I would bow before you with your experience on this, but is there something in that 7-year Klopp cycle?
Well, I wouldn't have thought so 4 months ago in August.
No,
because they played every single game. They were fighting for 4 competitions. It could have been the greatest season ever in the Premier League history. I can't believe that a team has fallen so quickly, in a short space of months. So I'd say no. The fact that Jurgen signed a new contract, yes, there is an issue behind the scenes. Of course, there is when, of course, Michael Edwards departs and then Julian Ward's decide to go, and Ian Gray, and one of the men behind Julian Ward, he's going to go as well. And of course, one of the owners, Mike Gordon, has stepped aside. So there may be more of that we don't know about. But I certainly don't think Jurgen's lost his passion for it.
No.
I just think he's Liverpool's performances, whether it's because of the exertions of last year, I've just not been up to it this year. I've not been up to the challenge of the 90 points on average that they've accumulated over the last 4 or 5 seasons. But it is an issue because they look very, very vulnerable at the moment, certainly in the defensive areas. They look as if they're going to concede every single game now. And that's something I haven't said in a while.
No.
You can't throw in a performance like you did against Manchester City and be so strong and powerful at the back. And then these recent performances have just been, from another place at all.
Yes. And of course, no Van Dijk for the next month.
No Van Dijk for the next month. But I mean, these performances against Aston Villa and Leicester, they had Virgil. So maybe it might be better for him just to take him out the firing line because he's, he played in the World Cup and it might do him the world of good, refresh Virgil van Dijk. I honestly don't know. A lot of head scratching at the moment at Liverpool.
Yeah.
A lot of head scratching, and the schedule does get tougher, of course, as European competition comes in. And John, I can't help but think of 1955's Billy Wilder's A 7-Year Itch, and I totally agree. I feel like Jurgen Klopp is dealing with some fortuitous, or rather unfortuitous circumstances, but we'll see if Liverpool can make it happen. John Champion, Steve McManaman, thank you so much for being part of the show. Have a fantastic evening, and we will see you again. Thank you, boys.
Cheers, Alan.
Thank you.
Bye. Cheers, Giannis.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.